This is News You Can Use.
Recently, News You Could Use hosted a meeting with Doug Duncan, the Senior Vice President and Chief Economist for Fannie Mae, to discuss his latest housing forecast for 2022. Over the years, no economist has more accurately predicted what's coming next for our industry than Doug Duncan and his team. He shared with us a wealth of knowledge that we'll be sharing with you in bite-sized pieces over the coming weeks. It wasn't that long ago that all of us lived through a traumatic financial crisis known as the Great Recession. That economic downturn from 2007 to 2009 was caused by the bursting of the U.S. housing bubble, and a global financial crisis ensued. Conventional wisdom was that following that event, that millennials, now America's largest demographic group, that they wouldn't be interested in owning a home. Let's see what Doug Duncan has to say about this commonly held belief.
Purchase. And we saw that play out after the 2007 to 9 period. There were some things that ran in the press that were not informed by actually talking to how human beings make decisions. So what you heard was, because of the foreclosure crisis, the millennials have learned the lesson. House prices can fall, and so they don't want to buy a house and get into that trap. They want 300 square foot apartments with amenities. Well, in June of 2010, Pat's heard me tell this before, but it's a very fundamental thing that suggests you should be careful what you read in the newspaper, because it's not always well founded. You should investigate it. And so we did a survey of 1,000 households, June of 2010, first month that we did this. We do it every month now, have since. In that very first survey, we could sort out the millennials. 92% of millennials said they eventually want to own a home. So what was the disconnect? The disconnect was that the expansion after the 2007 to 9 downturn was the most urban-centric job growth of any post-World War II expansion. And you don't build single-family detached houses in Manhattan. You don't build them in the middle of Dallas. You don't build them in the middle of San Francisco. You build apartment buildings. So what the millennials were doing is they recognized they need a job first if they're going to own a house. That's where the jobs were downtown. But they were telling us eventually they want to own a home. As of 2014, our survey told us starting very soon, the millennials will drive the demand curve for housing. And in 2015, that started, and it's still the case today.
So there you have it. Just like you and me, millennials do in fact want to own a home, thank God. They want to put down roots and build financial equity through real estate. Another fascinating point about millennials, they really value remarkable customer service. A recent survey from American Express found that millennials as a group were willing to pay more than any other demographic group. In fact, 21% more for great customer service. That means it's more important than ever that you make sure that you and I are racing to the top, providing the industry's best customer experience. This is News You Can Use.